this crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon.
Man, I'm here with my man with Hoop Jargon, the best in the game, man. And you know I only let selected few in my circle. And this is a real dude right here. We gonna get down with the get down.
What up, man? It's your man Hoop Jargon back with another episode, man. And I got a great show lined up for you. So thank all you guys who are here. I see some early birds out here. Corey said Clifford slower than Chief Secondary. That's funny. And Flight Sports TV in the building, man. Salute. So I'm gonna bring my co-host up first, man, and a guy who needs no introduction, man. So let's bring him up, man. My guy, DJ Ron Cut Truth. What's up, my guy?
What's good? Hoop, your volume's not working.
Really?
Yeah.
Not at all?
The intro was working, but
you can't hear me.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Whoa. Okay. You hear me now? Hear me now? Yes, no?
No, I can't hear you.
Can't hear me. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna let you and KJ come on. And then I'm gonna have to. This never happens. Wow. Okay. Let me see. Oh, he said it is working. So you can't hear me. Corey says he can hear me. Let me back chat real quick. So sorry for the delay, folks. Thank y'all for rocking with us, man. We're gonna get it right. Y'all let me know in the chat.
That's funny. I can't hear Hoop Jargon, but can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't hear you.
Oh, if you want to drop down and come back up, see what happens, because I can hear you fine and they can hear me. I don't know what the problem is.
Let me see what I'll do on my end.
Okay, do your thing. So in the meantime, let me be able to bring up the guest host of the day, which is our guy KJ Black. What's up, my man?
What's up, man? What's going on? Hey, for the record, I can hear both of y'all, so I don't know what y'all got going on.
Yeah, I can hear everything fine, man. Well, the show must go on. Hopefully, DJ can start hearing me. But so what you know, how's things in your world, man? You know, things have changed, sir.
A little bit. I'm on the West Coast now. Like they say, the West Coast is the best coast, so we're gonna find out. So
you said that last stream before when you still at FAMU.
Hey, I just got to keep it where I'm at, man. Keep it where I'm at.
With it.
But no, man, it's good. It's good. It's been fast in terms of.
All right, now I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I got you.
Okay, cool. There we go. Now we right. Now we rocking.
Yeah. You know, it happened pretty fast, bro. Like a lot going on, a lot to learn, a lot that you think you know, you really don't. So, you know, it's been good though. You know, it's always good when you step into a new scene and you feel like it's a challenge. You know, that way coming to work is always an adventure because you're looking to gain more knowledge and looking to learn something new every day. So I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here.
And before I let DJ rock, I want to expound on that. So from a guy who was you were the assistant head coach, I believe your title was, and quarterbacks coach?
Yeah, co-offensive coordinator.
Co-offensive coordinator. Like, so you're talking about a guy who has a wealth of knowledge from a player standpoint, from a coaching standpoint. You mentioned that coaching for the Rams is like you don't know nothing after all. Expound on that.
Just the NFL is a different game. Like from the small details of the field dimensions to just the way the clock operates to the way you know, being in a huddle now, the college game, there's rarely any team that huddles. There's so many different things that I haven't been, I guess, a part of or been you know, forced to learn and then teach in the college game that I now have to do in the pro game. So you know, these last 2 months, 2.5 months, I think it's been, you know, it's been learning something new every day and trying not to do too much too fast. There's so much in this playbook, you know, that Coach McVay has put together with this offense that he even told the rookies when they got in, like, if you try to do it all at once, you ain't gonna get any of it. Trying to slowly, you know, get it to where I understand a small part. All right, now let's move on to the next part. That way, when it is my turn to teach it, I've mastered it. That's all. That's my goal right now, is to master it before I teach it. I've always had that approach, and why change that now? So just, man, I'm excited just to keep learning, bro. honestly. Like I don't know how else other to say it than to just keep learning, keep asking the right questions, and being around the right people always helps as well.
That's beautiful because I like to hear the insight because, we all see the names, we see the titles, but you don't get the insight. So that's what I always want to bring to this channel is giving the insight. And when y'all play the Cowboys, I'll slide your extra 20 to just mess the game plan up. So just we ain't going to talk about that till later. But yeah.
Bro, I just got
fingers crossed.
What are we doing?
But DJ, go ahead, man. What you got, man?
It's good to have you on, KJ. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you as a brother coaching under the tutelage of Sean McVay. Everyone knows how good he is. I know you're going to just learn and grow from the game. But I want to ask you, this year we all know there were 4 HBCU players drafted. Progress. But what do HBCU schools need to do to have their players showcase more? Is there a specific thing they need to, strategize into the next coming years of drafts?
I'll say this about the HBCU landscape in entirety. I think there's always been this push, especially since Dr. McClellan has become the commissioner of the SWAC, for there to be a better TV deal in terms of getting exposure mainly for the football programs. And then I'm guessing it's going to trickle down to basketball and so on and so forth. But I think that's what's needed. Number one is a deal that, number one, will give us more games to showcase the talent that HBCUs have and is starting to receive. And then also too, something that people don't really, I guess, give enough recognition to is that the coaching in SWAC and in HBCUs in general has only gotten better, especially since I was playing. And I'm not just talking about the few blue blood schools, I'm talking about all of them across the board. So I think that, along with the TV deal, getting a chance to showcase these men who are now getting a chance to get coached by better coaches who know more, who have deeper backgrounds, I think it's only going to enhance the product that these HBCUs are going to be able to put out. And, I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely always going to be watching on the side, even on Saturdays when I'm supposed to be working. I'm definitely going to have the games in my ear because I want to know what's going on, back home. HBCUs is where I'm from. I'm always keep my ear to the ground on that. But I think HBCUs are only going to do bigger and better things as the years go on. So definitely getting that TV rights deal is going to be priority number one, I guess, in my eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead, DJ, if you got one.
Yeah, and everyone that's listening knows that you were part of the FAMU coaching staff, a great coaching staff that is, that had a lot of success. When you hear about Marquise Bell, and I know people are telling me, because I made a video about it, that he's intercepting this and that, it was just camp. But to do that as an undrafted free agent, to make a name for himself, are you even surprised, even a bit, what he's doing? Or is it just you're never surprised by it?
No, because I seen him for 3 years. My first encounter with Marquise Bell was seeing him in the facility, and I thought he was like an already graduated player. Like I thought he was I thought he was 23, 24 years old. He was like, "Nah, coach, I got 2 years left." And I was like, "What?"
He's like, now.
215. He walks through the door. He's like, "Nah, that's a grown man."
Yeah.
"Ah, coach, I got 2 years." I was like, "Oh Lord." And then I go out there and you see him move. You see him change direction and put his face on people. Like I seen it from day one. So, I even was pushing for him to come out here because, once I started to see him slide a little bit, I was kind of nudging the DB coach like, "Hey, I promise I'm not going." And we had some conversations with him, but ultimately Dallas is where he landed. And I was only, I talked to him a couple of times during that process, and I'm so happy and proud of him. And I'm also proud of him because he's going to represent in the right way. There's some negative rumors saying of why he left Maryland that are out there, but you couldn't ask for a better player. And he's only gotten better as a man, takes care of his business, handles his business, works hard. I would trust him with watching my daughter. He's that type of dude. And so he's only going to do great things in Dallas, and I'm looking forward to seeing him do it.
And we talked about this off camera, KJ, when you first came down to Cali. Is it indicative that the Cowboys offered him so quickly in such like a guaranteed contract? So you want to speak a little more about what it shows to what the kind of athlete that is, that they were ready to commit that quick, once the draft ended?
So just a little insight on that. So, and this kind of happens across the league, but You know, as the draft gets going, especially towards the end, you know, you start to reach out to people and just to see that, gauge their interest. You know, hey, if you don't get drafted, would you be interested in coming? And so I'm sure he had a bunch of suitors as the draft was winding down. Like I said, we tried to get in there as well, but I was not shocked that it happened so fast in Dallas. Now, I was shocked at the amount of money, but that shows how important he was to them. They knew what they were getting by paying that much money. So, and it's only showed itself, like you said, you mentioned the interception he's already got in OTAs and the good words that the head coach and the position coaches have been speaking about him. So he's showing to be worth that and more. But no, I wasn't shocked at all, bro. Like that kid he was a 4-star athlete coming out of high school. I mean, there was a knock on him I had read or heard that he didn't have great ball skills, and that's not true, because if you go back and you watch his interceptions, a lot of them are unbelievable plays in the air. So, I mean, the kid, he can do it all, bro. It's up to him how good he wants to be, and he can do it all.
I like it because that's definitely a need that the Dallas Cowboys have to address, which is that secondary. It's been a need last decade. I mean, if we're being honest. So it's good to see brother Ben. And DJ a Cowboy fan like me, so he knows what time it is.
Kryptonite, brother.
He fits the Cowboys in terms of they like those guys that can run and hit, and he can do it. But he's also 6'2" and he runs 4.41. So, I mean, you kind of got the best of both worlds there. So I wasn't shocked when I seen the contract. I was like, he's a good fit for them. So,
question: do you think he has like the ability to be like the hybrid, kind of how the Cowboys safeties? Like I think what's my man name?
Darren Woodson.
No. Now, like he plays safety and he plays linebacker as well.
Curse.
Yes.
You think he has the ability to potentially be that style of? Because I know that's what DC likes to run.
Yeah, he's good. He's good enough. He's so crafty, man, in terms of finding creases in the box, and even when he's out on screens and you got linemen coming at him, he was so crafty, sneaky to get between creases and make tackles and make plays. And he's also strong enough, like I told you about his physique earlier, to use his hands and get his hands on guys and shed and get off of blocks and make plays. So he could definitely be a box defensive back, man. So he can definitely do that. He can do it all, bro. Like I said, he can do it all. I was shocked that he wasn't drafted. You know, and even the defensive coaches, which is why they were shocked, and we tried to go at him late because they thought he was going to get drafted. So, you know, for him to slide, kind of put everybody's ears up, like, hey, let's give him a call so we can get him. So I wasn't shocked that you know, he got the money he got because he's that type of player. He should have been drafted.
I love that going forward because it's just something that it gets so. And a word I want to bring up is vindication. Because, and do you kind of harbor that same type of mentality being an HBCU guy in this new world where, like in the NFL ranks, we're getting probably as much attention like since we had like in the 70s and the 80s, right? When Eddie Robinson was putting them out there like guy after guy after guy after guy. Does it kind of what does that mean to you being a HBCU product now in the NFL culture?
It's humbling. It's humbling because I know as a younger coach, when I first got my first full-time position, I was looking for mentors or looking for somebody to follow that was a quarterback coach that was an African American, and there wasn't many, and there still aren't many in the NFL because they're just, you know, as we both know, like this is something that we're not used to seeing a lot of us in this position. And even right now, I think there might be a handful right now in the league. And I've connected with a few of them since I've gotten this opportunity, which has been awesome. But, you know, my goal is to learn. Is my goal, especially being from an HBCU, is to show that we could do it. And then my last goal was always to leave that door open to give somebody else an opportunity. So I feel like I'd be doing it. Didn't do that.
I love that.
Buddy of mine yesterday, who I think at one day will probably be an NFL coach. I told him my job is to get here, and when they say close the door, leave it open. Like I want everybody to have an opportunity, and then now once you get the opportunity, that's on you.
It's on you.
I can't bring you here and you're not worthy. So if somebody, you know, I know is a good coach, because there are a lot of better coaches than me out there, but I know is a good coach that can, you know, do well for himself and the organization that he's going to work for. I'm gonna do everything I can to help him out. You know, but I just want to be that resource, that link between HBCUs, both D1 and D2, because there are some good D2 coaches as well.
Absolutely.
MK landscape that deserve an opportunity to coach in the NFL and coach the best and be one of the best. So, you know, that's my goal. Like I said, in 10 years, if I can say I've brought a couple guys up to the NFL to coach, then I'm gonna be happy. And I'm gonna be happy regardless of what personal accolades I get. If I can do more to help push us forward, I'm good.
That's beautiful, man, because I think that's the whole thing to get more of us in there is that we got to look out, for other people who are worthy. Again, you don't just bring up, Lucky Man up there. Say, man, give me a job with the Rams, bro.
Can't just bring the homie up, man, and my breakout board and draw a play up, but
Hey KJ, so you definitely not bringing in Pookie and Sharif.
Ray and them.
Brother, I ain't never coached before. I ain't got a degree, but can you hook me up with a job, brother?
Yeah. Bro.
Oh man, I ain't doing that.
Oh man, Ray got to do it his own way.
No, and that's all you can ask, man. It's like when you get to that position, you put other brothers on. I got to give a shout out to another guy from Prairie View, Marquise Johnson, man. He's coaching for the Vikings. Cool, brother. I've been knowing Marquise the whole way through, man. Like one of the original members of my hoop jargon group, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. And to see him when he came out here, I hung with him and his Vikings coaches out some spot in LA. But it's just good to see that guys are getting in, putting that work in, because you didn't get like a red carpet in the coaching. You know what I mean? And so I know that makes you feel good to see other brothers, especially Prairie View guys. I got to represent today. You know what time it is.
Next time, wearing my Prairie View stuff, bro. I got it.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Put it on, man. You tripping? But so, and another name I want to talk about this got drafted. And DJ kind of opened the can of worms on that one. But another great athlete is my man, Mr. James Houston, man. What were some of the takeaways you saw, been on the other side of the of the field, of what you saw, and what does he bring to the NFL going forward?
So I was first, of course, we played him. FAM Jackson State in the OBC, which if you haven't been, I would encourage both of y'all to go. Like this, you're talking about spending a weekend in Miami, like yeah, definitely classic to check out. It was awesome. Even being on the coaching side and seeing all the festivities and stuff going around town, like it was awesome. So definitely one for everybody to go check out. But James, of course, he was the number one, guy on our list to check out and make sure we knew where he was every play, because we really at that time weren't sure where he was going to line up, because at Florida he was a linebacker. Come to find out he was playing defensive end. Yeah. And he ended up getting double-digit sacks, but he was a menace. He was a problem for sure. And then I seen him at the East-West Shrine. I got a chance to coach in the East-West Shrine game. So seeing him literally come from one All-Star game to another All-Star game on the first day, seeing him being able to instantly pop out on film, rushing the passer, getting around the edge, using his hands, playing long, even though he's only about 6'1", he has the ability to rush the passer. And so for him to be able to do that on multiple levels, on multiple stages, shows, that he has a chance to stick. And obviously him, being highly touted out of high school, like I wasn't surprised at his ability, but just to see it up close and personal at practice was definitely eye-opening and definitely proved what I thought when I first played him. When I was at FAMU, that he was the dude, and he'll probably stick. I think he's in Detroit, correct?
Correct.
Yes, he'll probably stick, and I'm hoping that he does stick, and I'm hoping that all four guys that were drafted stick. Because we got one here that's doing well already. I was talking to the DB coach here, talking about Jacoby Durant, and they look, whenever, the first thing they say about a guy, and they like to put those HBCU tags on. I'm talking about outside people, but the first thing they say about Jacoby is he's smart. Shoot, if you're smart and you can run 4.38, you got a shot. So, so they said nothing but great things about Jacoby, and they're saying he's going to be a great nickel for us down the line. And we've got some guys that have played already that he'll probably be behind. But for them to say that this early, it's only good. It's only going to get better from here. So I'm definitely happy and excited to continue to watch Jacoby progress. And then of course the kid from Southern. Carter. Yep, Jatir Carter. He was, I wouldn't say easily, but definitely was the best offensive lineman in the SWAC. And he was just hard to get around, long kid. Then went to the Senior Bowl and held his own. I remember watching those practices on TV just to watch his, watch his clips and shoot, every time he got on there, he was showing out. He may have gotten beaten once, and then they would give him a chance to redo it, and he definitely showed up the next time. So it wasn't I'm about to run through this SWAC dude. He held his own, and I was proud to watch him represent us, at the Senior Bowl.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so all those guys, man, they're going to do nothing but great things. And then I think the only one I'm really unfamiliar with is the young man from D2,
Joshua Williams.
Yeah, Josh Williams, who's he's got height, weight, speed. We can do that. He's got a shot, and I wish him the best. I just didn't get the chance to watch as much of him, but he's definitely got the right dimensions and the right traits. So I hope it works out for him.
That's awesome. It's a funny comment. Bigger life accomplishment winning SWAC or being interviewed by Cliff. I'll hang up and listen.
Hey, so since I've done this about 3 times, I don't know.
That's funny. And I like the fact that KJ is always like his whole career. I feel like I've chronicled KJ's career. Our first time, it's about the 4th time on the show.
Yeah.
First you was at Prairie View, and then you went over to FAM, and now you're here in the NFL. So I just feel like you've grown on my channel, bro. Like that's a crazy little thing.
Oh, we did one.
We did one just on Facebook before.
Conference room. Remember we had the
it's on Facebook though. I didn't have YouTube back then.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, we done a few of them, bro.
Yeah, we did one in person. Yeah, so man, that's why I like when you keep achieving. I'm just like, man, that's my guy. Like KJ just keep getting it done, man. So I definitely root from the sidelines, man. Like straight up, man.
Whenever you need me.
Got you, man. And I want to ask about one more, DJ, and I'll let you hop in.
Oh,
so another one of the big names that was, kind of getting buzzed on the free agency wire is your guy, Kill Glass, man. You want to talk a little bit about, as a former quarterback in the SWAC, what do you see of him, and do you see him sticking, and what do you notice about what he represents?
All right, so I got some more insight on that one. So
okay, there we go. Exclusive, baby.
So I actually coached him in the Legacy Bowl, the HBCU Legacy Bowl. That was in New Orleans. I don't know if a lot of people were even hip or tuned to it, but this was the first year that they did an actual HBCU senior all-star game where they allowed the NFL scouts and everything like that to come out and basically treat it like the Senior Bowl, except it was for the HBCU. So it was held down in New Orleans, and I was his position coach. I was his offensive coordinator. Okay. And so immediately the first thing, my first impression of Akil was, man, it's a quiet kid. Like, I'm not – is he a quarterback? Like, he wasn't talking at all. But then, so the very first thing I challenged him with was we were in the hotel. We were in a big meeting room. And so I said, all right, because we had the whole office in there. I said, all right, move all the chairs. I said, let's practice the huddle, because I know none of them dudes have been in the huddle before. But, all right, let's go in and out of the huddle. And I made Akil get in there first. And so I gave him the play, and he got into the middle of the huddle, had his eyes up, command up. He gave the play, broke the huddle, did the cadence and all. I said, all right, he's going to be all right. He can do that. Very first day meeting, can get in the huddle with a bunch of guys he knows can play and get in there and handle himself accordingly. I knew he was going to be all right. Then we got on the field. Definitely has arm talent. In my opinion, I think that's his strong suit, his ability to place the ball where it needs to be. His arm's a lot stronger than I thought it was. But he's definitely got the arm talent to play in the NFL. And if it were me, I would say the only thing that I would work on if I were him, I would wear out a jump rope. Just getting his foot speed, his ability to move around the pocket, because he's not a fast guy naturally, but that doesn't mean you can't play quarterback in the NFL. He just got to be better at finding those small creases and buying time within the pocket to make throws. So he'll never outrun you, but if he can learn to be crafty and navigate through the pocket, he'll be a lot better player, because his arm talent is not an issue. He can put it wherever he needs to put it. So that would be my advice. So if somebody knows Akil, tell them Coach Black said get on the jump rope every day. He'll be fine.
It's insight right there. DJ, what you got?
I always wanted to ask this because I'm a Texas native, for those who don't know, and Matthew Stafford was the guy at Highland Park. And I'm going to be honest, we rooted against Highland Park because there wasn't enough brothers on that team. That's the story.
That's the blue blood school right there, man.
We always wanted them to lose.
That's the leg up in life area.
So how is it like seeing his talent? Because he has an amazing arm, and everyone talks about his win-loss record, but they don't understand when a quarterback finally has talent around him and a coach that believes in him, things change, and that's why he's won a Super Bowl and looking to win more. So watching him, were you able to see his mechanics or just things that stand out?
The thing that stands out with Matthew, he's one of the smartest quarterbacks I've ever met. Like his ability to decipher things, even in practice. Like we'll be in practice and he'll see things, and I ask myself, like, how did he see that? Because a lot of our plays we call 2 plays in the huddle, and he may, have to get to one because there might be something wrong with or something that the defense is presenting that we just don't like. And so, you're trying to get tips and stuff from the defense, and they won't move. Like, they'll just be standing there. And he'll be like, all right, I know what's coming. And he'll just change it. He'll be like, how did you change? What did you see? Oh, I just seen da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I was like, but nobody moved. How did you see that? So his ability to decipher information and he's basically another coach on the field, along with the arm talent that you mentioned. So you put those 2 things together, and his ability to lead men, he's a lot better than I thought from the outside in. I always knew he was a big arm kid that could, or big arm guy that could throw it, but he's so much more than that. And I think that's what LA has allowed him to show. Now that you said, putting more talent around him, both offensively and defensively. Shoot, he's only gotten, brighter. His stars only shine brighter. It's going to continue to shine, as long as he wants to do it, because he's just so talented, both mentally and physically, man. He's different, bro. He's different. Like, everybody was all fired up about the no-look passes, bro. He no-looked the whole season. He's been no-looking his whole career. Like, I can watch other games, like, from years past. Like, he was throwing no-looks in Detroit, but nobody was watching Detroit Lions. He does it in practice all the time. Like, we were in practice yesterday, and we were doing a little sprint out drill, and he can't throw right now because he just come back from an injury. But like, we were running, sprinting out to the left, and he, like, behind his back flipped the ball to me. I'm like 15 yards down the field, behind the back, flipped the ball to me, a perfect spiral, like right to my chest. Like, I stopped and looked at him, like, and he just kind of gave me a little side eye, like, yeah, I got that. So, bro, uber talented, like, smart, fun guy, big arm. Like, he's everything that you would want in a franchise quarterback, and I see why LA spent the capital that they did to get him here. He's all that, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And to DJ's point, the sentiment when they first made the deal, people was like, what? Why would you get Matt Stafford? Like, why would you, because Jared Goff, not like necessarily people were sold on Jared Goff per se, but people just kind of had that stigma that Matt Stafford just was a stat patter.
Yeah.
What's my man Rob Parker called? Stat Pafford, right? But shout out to my guy Mitchell Brock. He pointed out the fact that Matt Stafford only had a 1,000-yard rusher once in his career. That was Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a lot of weapons to work with. Megatron leaving what 6-7 years ago, Megatron left. Mm-hmm. So he's been trying to make things work with, no disrespect, spare parts.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised that you guys went as far as y'all did this past year. Do you want to talk a little bit about, I guess, what are expectations going forward now that he has the tools around him, now that he has the culture around him? What's the kind of insights going forward, Put the Rams in with Matt Stafford.
I think Sean, Coach McVay he put it the best the other day when we had a team meeting. He said, we're not looking to repeat or protect any type of championship. We're trying to just be the best version of ourselves right now. 2021 Rams, 2022 Rams are different teams. So we're trying to be the 2021 Rams. We're not going to be as successful as we need to be. And I think the same sentiment should go to Matthew. Matthew just has to be the best version of himself this year. Because even if we're just talking about, as people, as men and women, the 32-year-old version of me didn't feel as good as the 31-year-old version of me. So I can't treat it the same. So I think he has to approach it, with, all right, this is where I'm at in my career. This is how I feel. This is the way I need to treat and train my body. This is how I need to train my mind to get ready for the season, because it's going to be a totally different experience. And then you got to throw on top of that, now everybody's going to be throwing their best at us because we are the defending champs. So it's not the same. It's a whole different light, whole different season, whole different world. We can't approach it the same. And I think Coach McVay did a good job of relating that message. And like I said, I expect us, the way that we're wired in terms of leadership within the locker room, I expect us to take that and run with it and be the best version of the 2022 Rams that we can be.
And it sounds like y'all stand in the moment, which is very important, where you don't lose yourself because you're trying to be pleasing too many masters, as it were. So that's a good thing. It shows that you have a level-headed leadership from top to bottom. So that's a good message to hear. DJ, what you got?
And the hoop jargon, isn't that a breath of fresh air to hear a team been there, done that? We're going to start from scratch. We're going to control our destiny. Our favorite team, Cowboys. For some reason, when they get to the playoffs, it's just like Hey man, it's just their eyes lit up like this. Like they just never see. I'm like, calm down, calm down. But when I watched the Rams in this past season, it's very businesslike. And credit to Sean McVay, one of the youngest coaches in the NFL.
I think he's still the youngest, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still the youngest, still to this day.
Okay.
I think he's like 35, 36.
That's crazy. That's crazy to be that young.
Yeah, he graduated in, I believe, 06 in high school. So, yeah, he's about 35 years old.
Goodness gracious. But, so, go ahead, DJ. Go ahead, my bad.
I was going to ask you, what, like, the rookie class, I don't know if you're aware of all the rookie players that came out. Well, who's standing out as a rookie for the Rams? And I know that team has a lot of talent.
It's kind of hard to say that because with pads on. And our first draft pick was Logan Bruss, who's an offensive tackle from Wisconsin. So you haven't really gotten a chance to see him, do his thing in the trenches. And then secondly, we haven't really practiced. Like we've been doing a bunch of, walkthroughs, half speed stuff. So we really haven't just banged yet. Which is another thing I mentioned earlier about trying to get used to the NFL game. Like if this was college, like it'd have been 20 practices. But just in t-shirts and shorts, I would say Iron Williams, the running back from Notre Dame. He looks pretty good. Very smooth. He might not be 4.3 speed, but his ability to he has great vision, great feet, can get in and out of the hole. I mean, he's great hands, can run routes. I think he's going to be a good player for us, and we've already got great backs. So, add him to the stable. Can never be too talented. So, very impressed with him.
I'll keep an eye out, man. And I'm gonna try to make some of y'all games, man, since it's so close. So I'm gonna check you out, man, and see what's going on.
Coming to the Cowboy game,
I'm definitely coming to that game. I mean, we know that. I'm gonna be loaded that game. Be ready to go. I'm telling myself on these streams.
Buffalo, try to get in the building for Buffalo. That'll be a big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I ain't gonna be begging you for tickets, man. But if you got some, you can bless your boy. I'll show up in Inglewood, man.
Hey, I told everybody, bro. The wife handles my ticket, so you got.
I got you. I ain't gonna beg you. I send the cheap seats. I ain't tripping. I come up there and just do my thing.
To do with them tickets. Once I get them, I hand them to her, and I don't see them again. So
yeah, that's the way to do it because people gonna be
blowing your phone up. Hey man, remember me back in college and high school? You hook a brother up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, KJ, go ahead, bro.
It's already started.
Remember, I lent you $5 in the 5th grade, man. I'm gonna need to.
Remember you told me? No, I didn't. I never did. No, I did not.
That's funny, but yeah, that's how people are. But I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to navigate that with your new endeavor that you're in, because I'm sure people doing that for you in college as well, especially when you're at PV. I know they'll hit you up for tickets. Yeah. Which is easy to do back then, But so now, speaking of PV, speaking of HBCU, now we talked about how like the guys are getting drafted now, and it's a thing now. It's more prevalent. 4 guys in 1 year. I know that's not enough, but that's a start. Mm-hmm. It really is a start. Shout out to Primetime Bills. And I love Jackson State in the house. Yes, sir. Jackson State Jackson State everywhere, man. Everywhere. You can't deny them. See. But I was saying that now this new era, like, is becoming more prevalent. And Doug Williams, the legendary Doug Williams says a step in the right direction, and he's liking what's going on. So how do you see, well, let me preface it this way. We see more guys, not just Jackson State, getting these 4-star, 3-star transfers. They're getting better talent. So how do you see this trend going forward? Or what do you see of this trend, and where do you see it going from this point forward?
I think this trend is great, for our product as an HBCU. Like I said, I think we just have to do more as a collective unit to bring attention to these young men, because they're coming for a reason. They're coming because they see that it could be done from HBCUs, meaning these young men can reach their dreams, both on and off the field from these HBCUs. But we have to do our part as alumni, as fans, propel these young men to bring more attention to them while they're in our colors and wearing our brands. Because the name of the game right now is name, image, and likeness. So you know, the recruiting landscape has changed so much. The first phone call, you ain't, hey, you know, what's your name? How's your monitor? That first phone call might be, hey, coach, you know, y'all got NILs? Real quick. Yes, okay, cool. What we talking about? Or no, coach, I appreciate it, but I'm not interested. Like, that's the game now. So yeah, like, you know, I'm glad that these 3 and 4 stars are coming now. But in order for us to continue to get these and more big time recruits, that's where the game is going. And the universities that don't take that approach are going to start to fall behind. But as you see, Jackson State, they have NIL opportunities, so they're continuing to get more and more, and that's just where it is. So, you know, either, you know, get right or get left. So, you know, Prairie View has to step up. Our alumni has to step up and find a way to give those young men opportunities to, you know, make a little ends meet for their name, image, and likeness, just like they're doing at Jackson State, just like they're doing at FAMU, just like they're doing. I think A&M has got something going on because they've got all these 3 and 4 star guys coming in. So, you know, it's not the same game. The price has gone up. So we got to figure out a way, you know, to do our best to keep up with them.
Here's a good thing about the NIL era and transfer portal. The value of the scholarship. Now kids are wanting that. Like, you go on social media, and they can be a 3-star player, and they're saying that, man, I want to go to HBCU. I want to. And years ago, they didn't appreciate that. So with the new influx of the transfer portal, high school athletes are now valuing scholarships no matter what level. It's a blessing to get a scholarship, no matter if it's FCS, Division II, because with this new transfer portal, you can fix your roster like that. You could go on a database and find your need and find a fit. And teams have gotten better. Look at Alabama A&M. I think they have the most transfer portal players. They got more than Jackson State. Mm-hmm. And their roster is night and day different than last season. So if you can answer the impact of the transfer portal in high school recruiting.
All right, that's a lot. Because as you were saying that, my mind started doing this. So let me just say this about the transfer portal. First of all, the transfer portal, you're probably going to have more misses than hits in the transfer portal. If I'm being real. Because especially if they're coming down from the FBS level, they ain't just letting anybody leave. If you're a player, you ain't something wrong, or there's been a relationship that's just been deterred to where it just can't be fixed, or there might be some personal reason that's going on. Like, you got to really do your homework in a transfer portal. And if you're getting, and this is my opinion, this is not the right or wrong, but this is my opinion. If I'm signing 30 plus guys out of the portal, like, I'm really scared about what I'm really getting. I kind of like the approach that, Coach Simmons had, because we don't get a bunch of guys from the portal, but we get enough where we can sprinkle them in here and there. And then still, our foundation is still through the high school level. In my personal opinion, this is not right or wrong, but it's, sometimes you're scared and you get 30 or 40 guys in. What are you really getting? What does your team now become? Because those guys are going to have an influence on the locker room. That's a lot of change in 1 year. So, but then just in terms of HBCUs being popular now, people wanting to go to HBCUs, that's because they see it can be done. They see it can be done again with getting to the NFL. And now we're offering almost a lot of the same things that these group of 5 schools are offering, meaning facilities are not that far off. Look at Jackson State, look at PV, look at Alabama State. Those things are not that far off, huh? And I can get the same scholarship money, huh? And y'all's NILs aren't really that different. Well, shoot, I'm gonna go to my people. If it ain't that big of a difference, I'm gonna go to my people. So yeah, now HBCUs are looked upon as not being that far off or that different because we're offering the same things.
And that ratio too play in your favor. Yeah. Just saying, that ratio is nuts.
So the game has the margin has gotten smaller. Is it where we want it to be? No, but it's gotten smaller. So now men are not saying I'm doing myself a disservice by going to the HBCU. That's more. You know what I mean? As long as we continue to do our job with the facilities and with the NILs, we're only going to decrease this margin. And then to the point that I made earlier, now the TV company gonna say, hey, well, the HBCU product, I probably want to put that on TV because they got more 3- and 4-star guys in this MAC conference, than this Mountain West conference, and this WAC conference. Well, let's go get a SWAC some money and put them on TV. Like, that's where I hope it's going. I hope that's the trend that we're starting to see, because if that happens, the sky's the limit. The SWAC's going to be, as I heard about a year ago, the SWAC's going to be the new SEC if we continue to get these margins to be tighter, and then we start to give these young men the exposure that they deserve.
And if we're being honest, if these companies understand and get their mind right, we draw better than everybody else in the FCS level. Easily. So these are potential buyers you have that you, not just Jackson State, like this has been like that before Deion Sanders came to Jackson State. Jackson State can fill up a stadium. They've been like that. And losing. And I said this on my earlier streams, Jackson State has been horrible the past half decade. Horrible. Yeah. They still draw, you know what I mean? So now it's just this new era where like new interest in HBCU, people can kind of come out the closet, so to speak, and be proud. Like DJ got his Jackson State hoodie on. 2 years ago, I guarantee you DJ would not have a Jackson State hoodie on.
It's a trend now, brother. It's a trend.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I accept reality where reality stands. Go ahead.
Hey, check this out though. So going back to the MAC conference, me and a coach maybe a year or two ago had a conversation about how the MAC conference, right? So we're talking about the Bowling Greens, the Kent States, the Akrons, how their TV deal is better than the SWACs. But you turn on these MAC games, ain't nobody even at them games. You know what I mean? And the talent is not even. Please schedule FAMU versus Akron. Please, I would love to see that. So that's what I'm telling you. As these margins get tighter, we'll get that TV deal, bro, and we're gonna take off. So we just got to continue to do what we're doing. That's it, and continue to upgrade our facilities, upgrade the support staffs, and HBCU football will be where it's supposed to be.
And I want to ask this question. I think this is kind of in sync with what we're just talking about. And so Between the Game Sports, man, shout out to him. Y'all sub to his channel. He says, is the NFL taking any steps like in what the NBA is doing? Example, Chris Paul creating HBCU basketball classics.
Great question. The NFL is doing a lot of different things, especially when it comes to HBCUs in terms of integrating more people and giving them more chances to be a part of these organizations. I'm a case of that, because if you look on the Rams website right now, my title will say coaching fellow. And everybody's like, what the heck is a coaching fellow? Well, that's an initiative by the NFL to integrate more African Americans on the offensive side of the ball, specifically in the skilled positions. So we're talking quarterback, running back, receiver. So, but in theory, if you were to go and ask your coaching staff, I'm the assistant quarterback coach. But because it's an NFL initiative and they're trying to keep tabs and label, all right, this is, who the NFL is categorizing as, somebody that we're helping give an opportunity because they deserve. So my title says coaching fellow. So that, along with, we just had a meeting maybe last week. There are some young men and women in the sports medicine department that are getting in opportunity to come and work with us for a year through HBCU. They're doing the same thing in the football operations department. So it's not just coaches. The NFL is doing this around the entire organization and giving HBCU students and coaches and trainers different opportunities around the league. And I think they're doing a great job with that.
Yeah, and I think it's an allusion to, like, if you know how like the old world organizations, how they label certain things like the apprenticeship, the fellowship, and that's what that is an allusion to. So okay, because it may sound a little funny to somebody. What's a fellow? What does that mean? But there's
that's what
they call it.
But again, when you ask the coaches, they're like, oh, that's the assistant quarterback.
Yeah. So for those who kind of all right. So and Between Game Sports said love it. And so and these are things that have to happen. Like so, and again, like what you said at the beginning, is you have to. You take it upon yourself to bring somebody else the same way. It may be more grassroots style. This seems like to be an intentional initiative that the NFL has implemented, but you can start your own grassroots thing, bringing guys in, because that's the way it's supposed to happen, man. Because I know a lot of people, they talk about the Rooney Rule. They don't love how the NFL goes about practice. Okay, fair enough. So we got to find our own ways to get our own in there. And I think that, what better ground to pick from the HBCU ranks. No offense to the brothers who went the FBS route. No offense to that. But it's a little different. I mean, I'm sure you know that. It's a little different.
Like this is I won't say it's a culture shock, but it's a different world. It's the day-to-day operations and the day-to-day work environment is way different. And not saying one is worse than the other, but it's just different.
It's different.
that's part of the thing. I mentioned other terms of learning. Like I have to learn how to, integrate myself and work with a different culture, a different style. Like especially, and not to mention, I'm going from East Coast to West Coast, so like everything is just different.
Yeah.
And there's no slider, or I'm not talking down on anybody. It's just different, and you have to get adjusted to it, and you have to learn how to vibe and work and get your job done in a different work environment. So, it's different, but I welcome it and I love it. Like I said, it's been nothing but good to me, and I'm, like I said, I'm hoping and I'm fortunate. I'm hoping I'm fortunate enough to get some opportunity down the line, man. Seriously.
Good stuff, DJ. What you got?
And KJ, I have faith in you, brother. What you're doing is so important for our community. I know people are like, putting labels, but I think it is because there's a young man probably watching this, young woman as well, saying that I can do this too. Mm-hmm. If I believe, if I put in the work. And I like the fact that you're putting all that olive branch, quote unquote, to the door is always open. Now, You got to have credentials. You can't just be anybody.
You got to see it. I got to see it.
You got to have a resume now. Don't show up without no resume now.
I got to see the work. I got to see the work. But to your point, like I said, we mentioned it kind of earlier, but when I was coming up, I seen Pep Hamilton. I wanted to be the next Pep Hamilton. I wanted to be the next Byron Leftwich. I wanted to be the next.
I love Byron Leftwich. Yeah.
Me and Brian Johnson connected. I want to be like Brian Johnson. Like, there have been some African American quarterback coaches in this league, and I'm hoping I'm fortunate enough to be one, and get a chance to help multiply our number of quarterback coaches. Like that's my end game. People ask me why I do it and what's my end game. That's my end game.
Oh, I gotta ask you this about the SWAC now. I gotta add hoop jargon.
All right.
I've talked to many people. I said this year's SWAC is probably going to be the most competitive it's been in years. I'm seeing from top to bottom, I'm seeing teams improving in talent, no matter if it's high school, transfer portal. I was telling a friend that next season, you cannot take a game off. You take a game off, or if you don't prepare to your very best, you can get caught slipping. You can get caught slipping against Valley or even Bethune-Cookman, who were close in a lot of games and lost them. Do you think the SWAC will be one of the best FCS conferences next season?
One of the best.
Top 5. One of the best.
I don't know if it'll be top 5. I think it'll be better. And I'm not sure if it'll be top 5. And the reason I say that is there's still some good football that goes on FCS landscape. You're thinking about the Colonial Conference. Like the A-Sun. I think there's an A-Sun start this year. Like they've got a bunch of good teams. So maybe around that 4 or 5 range, which would be a big jump. But there's some good football across the FCS landscape, and I'd be a homer if I didn't say didn't mention that. Now to the SWAC's point, and talking specifically within the SWAC, I still think the usual suspects will be at the top of it. That's just a gut feeling. That's just me seeing who they've signed and kind of. Because so many teams have new quarterbacks, bro. Like you don't know what you're gonna get from anybody.
True.
Valley is a team that I think might push 500, maybe a little bit above 500. I think Pine Bluff is who they are. They'll be the same. We're talking about Prairie View. Like Prairie View has a question, like what are we gonna do at quarterback? Big question. Mm-hmm. We know we've got defense. Well, we've lost a couple guys on defense, so we don't know what Prairie View's going to be. I hope they're good, but they've lost a little bit. Texas Southern is Texas Southern. They're going to be the same. Southern with Dooley. Dooley's got a little bit of talent in there, so we'll see what Southern does. They've got a quarterback question. A&M has a quarterback question, and they just lost their offensive coordinator. Did y'all see that? Did he go into the XFL now?
Didn't see that.
He went to the XFL.
So
yeah, that's just confirmed.
Back in their OC, so what they gonna be like with all them 30 transfers? Like that's a whole new team with a new that you don't know what you're gonna get. State, new coaching staff, they have quarterback questions. I know, although they got Davis from Auburn, who's a Houston kid.
Yeah, You talking Alabama State?
Yeah.
Well, they got Sewell too. You know, who's the coach at Prairie View. Anton Sewell going to be a great defensive coordinator, in my opinion.
I don't know what they're going to be like. This is that guy's first, head coaching job. So
it is.
Got to kind of see what they're going to do. You don't want to make any decisions until you see it. Like I said, FAMU will be good. Jackson, we know is going to be good. Grambling, like what's Grambling got the quarterback question? They don't know who they're going to. I don't know what they're going to look like at all. I have no idea. I know Hugh was there, who's an awesome coach, another guy that I looked up to, but you just don't know because they have a big quarterback question. So, it's just so many unknowns. Like it's hard to say the SWAC is going to be a top 5 conference. Like that's all those unknowns and things we just said, and how can we say it's going to be a top 5 conference? So,
good point.
I hope it is, but I need to see it. I'm a show me, not a tell me.
I respect
Hey, Hoop, man, he broke it down well because he even admit the talent is there. It just, again, you got to have the QB. That's what all comes together, and it's kind of like hitting the jackpot.
You can have a team, and if you don't have a quarterback, you'll never reach the heights that you want and think that you deserve to be at. So,
I say all the time, you got 2 quarterbacks, you got 0 quarterbacks.
That's true. That's not true. Me, 2009, it was me and Jay Bluford. We had 2 quarterbacks.
You beat him out though, KJ.
So we started.
You beat him out.
Can't say that.
Y'all wasn't tandem though. He got hurt. He messed up that play. You got out there and you ain't look back. They ain't bring y'all in to be no dual quarterback. At least that's not how it was reported to us. Go ahead.
But you can have 2 quarterbacks and still be good.
But y'all, that's not. He messed up.
The University of Florida do that with Tebow and
Chris Leak.
He took his spot though, didn't he?
No.
Didn't Tebow take his spot?
Chris Leak was a senior that year.
Yeah.
Played off of each other.
They
They
both
kind of
played.
soft rolled him in though. Go ahead. Fair enough. All right, you brought Tebow in as a young gun with Chris Leak. All right, fair enough. But I can name you tons of other situations that don't work out. Texas every year doesn't work out with dual quarterbacks. A&M was not working out all the years with dual quarterbacks. I can go all day on that.
You're right.
Not saying you can't. It's exceptions to the rules, of course. But if we're being honest, KJ, stepping back, me looking at you transferring from West Kentucky and seeing Bluford, no disrespect to Bluford, I was like, all right, now we need to try to do guy. So it wouldn't. It didn't feel like it's going to be a 2 quarterback system. It's just like how long it's going to be to the new dude don't show what he got. It is what it is, and you did your thing against New Mexico State, and you never look back. Hey, man.
You're right. You're right. I was trying to show my boy some love, and you crushed him. But you're right.
I'm not trying to dump on nobody, man. I'm just calling it like I see it, being an avid sports fan, bro. Like, I mean,
I'm with
I'm
you.
a big 2 quarterback fan guy.
That was a good question right there.
All right, so between the game sports, it seems to do a progression from game 1 last year to the end of the year. What are your thoughts? I feel like he held the ball too long in most situations, trying for the home run play.
Good point.
And I'll round it out with this one. We'll do one more, and then I'll let you do your thing. I know you're probably busy, my guy.
So Shador, Shador showed some promise last year. I think he'll be good. I'm interested to see his progression. Obviously, he's mentally there in terms of what you're looking for as a quarterback. He doesn't have the strongest of arms, so he's going to have to be elite with his anticipation and his timing and his footwork. But I see his work. I hear about his work ethics. I'm sure he'll improve with that. I think he has a chance, though. I really do. I think he has a chance. He's just the ultimate yes, no for him, and yes, no being, will he be an all-timer or will he be an NFL prospect, will be his ability to play with anticipation and how accurate can he really be, bottom line. There were a lot of times, especially early in the year last year, they were giving him those easy little dump, shallow crosses and easy dump offs, or he would just throw a little fade ball up to somebody that was bigger than the DB that the receiver was playing against. But, are we going to see him throwing these deep crossing routes this year? Are we going to see him throwing these comebacks to the field? Are we going to see him throwing these hammer digs or these dagger digs, which we're talking 15 to 20 yard dig routes? Like, when are we going to see that? You know what I mean? When are we going to see him be able to You know, and I've heard this, but is he going to be efficient enough to be able to get in and out of the pocket, or excuse me, in and out of plays at the line of scrimmage? You know, like he probably will have to be, because again, he's not a fast guy. So when you're not a fast guy, you have to be elite here. You know what I mean? If you can be elite here, then it doesn't matter how strong your arm is, because I already know what's going on. I know where this ball needs to go. I just got to get it there early enough so my receiver can make the play. So that's my assessment of him is he could do it. It's just will he take that step to being an elite mental quarterback that can take advantage of you without killing you with his legs. But again, from what I've heard, that he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a freshman at the end of the day, man. Like, you got to know that more stuff come between your ears with more experience. Like you come in, I think you were a junior, right? A junior transfer when you went to Prairie View. So you've seen a lot of football from that point.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you say about high school. It's a big jump from football in high school to any level in college. Like we talked about D2. Mm-hmm. It's a huge jump. I don't care who you are. And I can juxtapose that with myself playing college ball, redshirt at Stephen F. Austin, playing against some dudes every day. I'm like, golly, like I didn't know. It was crazy how big that jump was. We're talking about a mid-major program here, right? Mm-hmm. Even with junior college, I played JUCO after I left SFA. And JUCO, like some guys who went D1 after that, I had to really be on my game, and it's not like high school at all. So I can only imagine playing the most important important position on the field, i.e. quarterback. I know there's a lot of just on-game job experience work that he has to do until he gets to that point where he's mastering that mental level, like you're saying. Because eventually he's going to have to be he's going to be so cerebral that he knows what everybody's tendencies are. He knows what they're supposed to be. He tend to overrun routes. I got to keep all those things intact and in knowledge. And, oh, yeah, this big 300-pound dude chasing me. So I'm sure when he gets all that things down, then you'll see the proficiency level raised. But it only comes with like repetition, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think junior year Shedeur will be the measuring stick. Next year you'll see him be more comfortable. You know, he's got more weapons, so I'm sure he'll have a big statistical jump. But if we're talking beyond the football, and I always joke about people who are, you know, some people watch the ball and some people watch football. Some people watch the ball as the camera's falling, and some people are watching the trenches or watching, you know, the DBs or something else. So, you know, if you're really watching Shedeur, like how fast can he get to that point that we all know he can get there? You know, I think it'll be his junior year, but if he does it next year, then sky's the limit.
That's a fair answer. I like that. DJ, you got anything before we close out?
Yeah, in my spare time, I watch film. I may not be the expertise as KJ and many others, but I try. Shedeur, when I watch him, he kind of reminds me of when Kellen Moore first came into Boise. They had a talented team. He was able to manage the game. He didn't really have like a rocket arm, but he was able to use his mind to get players open. If he could form his game now a little bit better, if he could get a little bit better than that, I'm just talking about for him to get drafted, because remember, I don't think Kellen Moore got drafted. But if he could find,
I think he was undrafted. I think so.
Yeah, he was undrafted, and the Cowboys signed him off of undrafted free agency. If he could find a way to expand on that, while, as you said too, his footwork and just feeling the presence, he has a good chance to be drafted. Again, it's just one step at a time. Being drafted is not easy. Everybody thinks that he could go in there.
How many yards did Akil Glass throw for and he didn't get drafted?
What was it called? 5,000 almost.
It ain't about the ball. Like I say, the fans are watching the ball. The coaches and scouts are watching football. They're watching more than just how many yards you accumulate in a season, how many touchdowns you throw. Like, it's how you do it, it's when you do it, it's why you do it. So it's more than that. So he's got to take those mental steps, those mental hurdles he has to cross and jump before we can start saying, all right, he's an NFL guy. So, you know, I see the message boards, I see that stuff all the time, and I'm always the one that people get mad at because I might be a hater, but I'm just telling you like it is. Now that I've seen it too on this side, it ain't about stats at all, bro. Like, the only stat they worry about is touchdown to interception ratio, just to make sure. And it's not a level. I don't want to say level, but it's just something that they have to check off just to make sure, all right, this isn't some red flag.
Gotcha.
can be more of a minus than a plus. So they just want to make sure that, all right, touchdown ratio is good. But it's about experience, and it's about how you do what you do. Bottom line.
Yeah, I akin that to like Bruce Eugene, man, who was lighting the numbers up for Grambling. And Tavares Jackson, not quite as lighting up as the late Tavares Jackson, let me say. Wouldn't quite light up like Bruce, but they both went to the draft the same year, and one got drafted, one didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what it is. And everybody thought it was gonna be Bruce. And the stuff, like you said, the in-between stuff, it just ain't measure up to the next level, even though he had the gaudy stats. Lord have mercy, they beat us like 70-7. I remember that vividly. Bruce Eugene was a monster, but I mean, pro is a different level, man.
It's different. The kid that FAMU played, that was player of the year twice. The big quarterback, 6'7".
Cole Kelly.
Did he get drafted?
He was drafted.
So what we talking about? So, it ain't about the stats, bro. I'm telling you, it's nothing about stats. It's about how you do and why you do what you do. That's it.
KJ, I want to say this before you roll, and everyone listening. North Dakota State has a quarterback. I think he was a freshman when they won that championship, Cam Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, pay close attention to his trajectory in Shadur. He may not even put the same numbers as Shadur, but he may get drafted higher. I'm not putting down Shadur because I'm rooting for him to do well. But what KJ's talking about, sometimes a system, a quarterback that like Cam plays in a pro style system. He knows all the ins and outs. Has a low interception ratio, touchdown interception ratio. The NFL is just different, man. And I can't wait to see what would it look like when they're upperclassmen done with college, to see how that turns into, because sometimes the best stats doesn't always get you drafted.
No doubt. Yards, passing yards will not get you drafted. Bottom line. So stop talking about it like that.
Keep it.
I'm telling you, like touchdowns, like I said, touchdowns and interceptions is more of a, all right, does he have it? Yes or no, all right, he's good. It could be more of a red flag than a plus. Like I said, just it's more than about stats, bro. If I could share one thing, what I've learned going through this draft process is more than just stats.
That's free game, man. That's free game. And the one thing I do, I mean, again, I'm not a football guy like that. I do predict quarterbacks pretty well. And one thing I always look at it on the film, speaking of looking at film, is are you throwing a dude 2 body lengths open, or are you throwing a guy open? Now, sometimes you got a guy just going to beat him. You got some great guys to be with, i.e. Tim Tebow. You had Percy Harvin. You had Percy Harvin. You had Aaron
Hernandez.
And
he had another receiver out there.
Yeah. So when you throwing guys open, when they just beating cornerbacks like to stuffing, like I'm like, I need to see a little more than that. But and that's why I like some of the mid-major guys who have an ability to work with talent that is a little bit lesser than, but you know the game. You in a pro set offense and you throw guys open. That's just me from a casual observer. I know you know it way more intricate than anybody times 10 on this panel.
You're not wrong about that.
Okay.
But that's definitely something that gets noticed when we're breaking down film. And I'm talking about me specifically. If I'm looking at draftable guys, like there are a lot of times where people are throwing these touchdowns and ain't nobody on the screen. That NFL, when does that happen in the NFL? So
never.
So there's definitely some validity to what you just said, bro, for sure.
Okay. All right, because I say this kind of stuff because I predict quarterbacks well. I just do. But that's what I look at with the film. And when I look at the film, I'm like, okay. Can you get that next level when these DNs are quick as hell? You can't just be rolling out and just bombing somebody wide the hell open for a 60-yard ball. Like you're not gonna see that next level unless you're Kyler Murray. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna see that next level. So, all right, thank you for the validation. So, if y'all question me, I'm gonna say, Coach KJ Black said it is more true than not. Leave me alone.
I got you. I got you.
Already, man. So, before we peace out, KJ, anything you want to impart upon those watching and those who will watch after about anything?
No, man. Just like I said, I've always appreciated the love and support from you, bro, and this channel. And like I said, man, I'm just blessed. And I'm looking to leave the door open, bro, like we all should. No matter where we are, what career path we chose, try to bring somebody up. I heard something, matter of fact, the other day, I was talking to some coaches, and they were giving advice to some former players, and it was actually about money. But you can kind of relate it to career passes. You can't take this U-Haul with you to the grave. You got a U-Haul full of information, full of knowledge, full of opportunities. Give it to somebody, right? You can't take it yourself. You can't take it to the grave. You can't take it to the Lord's gates. Give somebody, right? Give somebody that opportunity that you got or that you wish you had at that time. And you know, as long as it's somebody that you think deserves that opportunity, you know, only good things can come from it. So, you know, don't take that U-Haul with you, bro. Give it to somebody else.
There you go. Reach one, teach one. That's what it sounds like to me. That's awesome verbiage, man. So, Coach Black, thank you so much. DJ, thank you for being excellent co-host, man. DJ is the person who brought me into YouTube, man, 2 years ago, man. So, with an interview like this, I had to bring my boy up with me, man. So, all y'all HBCU fans, I hope y'all like this free game we gave y'all for an hour. We gave you this for free. So if you're not done so, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Raw Truth Media. Y'all keep following brother Coach KJ Black while he do his thing for the Rams, representing the HBCU banner. And until next time, we out, man. Peace.
And shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to
Hoop Jargon.